Hi everyone, welcome to our Treasure Home Wednesday Live. So, if y'all seen by the title, there's a few things going on tonight. So, we got I got that muted. Alright, so first of all, let me get, I try to do things on time and get stuff, you know, you know what I mean. Be prepared and all that good stuff. Alright, there we go. Make sure I had it on mute. Alrighty. So let me type in my usual. So hi TV watchers. Hi chat. Hi replay watchers. Welcome to Wednesday Live. So tonight I'm going to do what I was planning on doing last week, but it was Wednesday before Thanksgiving, so we had to do something really fun. Ooh, and then I started to thought, Wednesday is before Christmas. Christmas Eve. Ooh, stay tuned because after we go look at lights, I will go live Christmas Eve. I want to see what Santa brings. I want to see if he comes by the house. And can y'all see in the background? We put up our tree today. All decorated. There we go. Alrighty. So, what I was going to do last week was give you an idea how much. It's not only the weight I've lost, but the inches I have lost. So weight is good, inches is better, is what I've been told over the years. Even so, some days this right here is down. Sometimes I feel like I'm bloated. But we're going to start. All right, so let me stand up. Turn this around this way. All right, so this is the jacket. This jacket is still, quite really big. So even with the layers of clothes I have on. So that jacket's got really big. All right. I'm just going to lay them right there. So y'all seen me in this shirt and videos last year on this channel. And I wore it for Cooking Dairy Free and I forgot. So, it looks, it fits and everything. But you know what? This is only one layer. And then, as you lose weight, you have, some things like this and everything. Well, this is just another layer. So, y'all see me in this shirt. It's a thin, I'll say it's autumn, spring shirt. I wore it for sleeves because it helped with my arm. But this is just another layer. And yes, one of my all-time favorite shirts. Alright, it got stuck in my pants. So I'll just pull it this way. Alright, and this is just another layer. And then, are we getting down to the next to this shirt? Yep. So this shirt I've had for years too, and now y'all can see it's gotten really big. So the shirt I have on underneath this, someone asked me the other day, today, what size shirt I wore. I said 3X, which is not true because that 3X really was covering up 4 other shirts. So now, take this one off. And now we got this shirt on. So this shirt, if I recall correctly, I think it's a 1X. Like a 20, whatever size it is. So this is actually down as far as without having a tank top on. This is the shirt that I can wear that's, not loose and anything like that. So now I'm going to step back a little bit so y'all can see. These are my sweatpants, and they're still big and everything. So, they were big enough. They covered up the jeans. So let's get these off. Alright. So that's how big I was, and I still was stretching out. So then I had these jeans, they're nice size. I said, these are 24, and, I still have room a little bit, But, yes, I'm taking the pants off because underneath those is another pair of pants. So, now, those are getting kind of like big and loose. When I go up the steps, they kind of like hang over my feet. So my feet, you can just slide them on off. Well, y'all seen me in videos with these. Now, these are big too. And, y'all can see in the videos how big they are on me. So, then I have these pants. I probably could have gotten on the other pants that I wear when I go to the doctor. But these are the next size down I have. These are like thin summer type sweatpants or whatever. But I'm in that in-between stage where, those clothes are too big, and the ones that I actually want to fit in, I just can't just yet. So I was like, I thought it'd be pretty cool and fun to show y'all actually how much, and to show to myself, because I feel like I'm stuck, and I actually could see myself, I have actually quite, lost quite a bit, and Merry Christmas, Merry and Bright from Snoopy and Mr. I know. I'm drinking water with cucumbers. So I thought that'd be pretty fun to do. That's what I was going to do last week, and I was like, I got the thing. I said, oh no, it's Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So let's cook something instead, and I can just do that. Right. So I thought that was pretty fun. It's cool to sit there and see, And I've had this shirt for a long time, and I got my weight down, and then I couldn't get into it anymore. And I was like, so now that, I was like, oh yes, I can get back into this shirt now. I do wear it and I don't wear it. And, sometimes it just depends on what I'm doing. What I have been doing, I have had no ground beef for almost a month. I've not had my allergy shots either for almost a month. And voila, this has gone down a whole lot. Only at night it flares up a little bit. It's itchy, but in the morning doing it, it just like almost it's the same skin tone color, and it's like to me it's like a bruise that's going away. So I've had steak in this time, and I didn't have any reaction. It's something with the ground beef and pork. So, hey Chris, how are you? Can do a mini without room lights. Awesome. Can I do a mini without room lights? Let me turn the... You want to see it like that? Now, I'm not going to sit here and just the tree lights on. But that's what the tree looks like without the lights on. I'll do a video later on. and post it and everything. So, and now that everybody's seen the tree, that's what the white lights. It has white lights, same colors, and we can make it blink back and forth. All right. There we go. I'll just plug it. So, yes, we got the tree up and everything. So we're excited about that. And then we'll put the stockings up and all and everything. And so, yes. So, do I have another shirt? I probably do. I'm thinking about the clothes I have. But yeah, this is the, well, I kind of like the last shirt. And then when I lose more weight, I'll have to get some other shirts and everything. So, yeah, I wanted to show y'all all that. I thought that was really fun to sit there and see how many layers of clothes I could get on that I have lost weight out of and everything. And those sweatpants, those blue ones, really surprised me because I was like, I put them over top of the jeans. I'm like, oh my goodness, I could put another pair of pants on and still have more room for these sweatpants. So, yeah, it's all good. I'm just glad that you start to feel better and everything, losing weight here and there and everything. So, and then what I've started doing as far as eating, I'm still doing the low carb, but not just always eggs and bacon in the morning. It's like today, for some reason or another, it's still the same thing. Every time I get up in the morning, by the time I get my coffee, I sit down and start working, start editing and everything. I don't think about food until it's like lunchtime. So it's like, okay, so I guess I'm intermittent fasting, whatever they want to call it. So today I had a nice salad. It was lettuce and a cucumber. Let's see here. Lettuce, cucumber, celery. I had some chicken that I had left over, and I just cut that up and everything and made that a salad. And I put olive oil on it instead of salad dressing. And then I had some sesame seeds. Put that on there and some salt and pepper with some turmeric. And then that was my salad. But I mean, I had a nice plate, big plate of salad today. Now tomorrow, now on the other channel, on Cooking Dairy Free and Alpha-Gall, I had some turkey legs that I've got. So I cooked those Tuesday. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I cooked them yesterday. It feels like, the days are kind of drawn out, which is fine with me. I love longer days because then it seems like, you got more time. But yesterday I did a lot of cooking and baking for Cooking Dairy Free and Alpha-Gall with Nancy. And I cooked the turkey legs. So I had one yesterday, and then Anastsia has one. And then I'll have her and I will split the last one. But they turned out really good. So that was yesterday's lunch. And then I made some dessert stuff and everything. But also, I want to show y'all my scarves. I had them 30% off for Christmas sale and everything. And that will be through Monday, the 10th. No, it'll be Wednesday, next Wednesday, the 10th. So let me grab those. Alrighty. Alright. So these are the scarves that I have. I have them posted. I also have a reel, a little video clip of them and everything, how much they are and everything. Let's see here. go to my post. Alrighty. So 30 to 39 inches is $20. So that'd be 30% off of that. 40 to 49 inches are $23. That'd be 30% off of that. And from 50 to 59 inches, they're $27 and 30% off of that. And that still includes free shipping. So here are the ones I have. This is a blue one. This is all blue. I think my email. I don't know if my email's in there or not. There's my email. So this is the blue one. I have a blue and purple one and white. So this one kind of goes all the way around. If you're cold, they keep you warm. Here's I call this one creamsicle. There's an orange and white. I remember eating, they still make them, creamsicles. Tell you, this orange one really kind of like does a number with the camera. Here's a solid purple, lavender. Like this one, it will go around, but if you don't want to, you can put a pin right there and just pin it right there. Still keep your neck warm. This is blue and white. Well, that didn't go around my neck like I wanted it to do. I'm not saying anything, but anybody that has any football fans, it makes me think of a couple of teams. Here is 2 different purples with a dash of white right there. And that white yarn ball, I use that a lot. And I still have a lot left over on that one. So this is called it 2 shades of purple. So here's this one. This is the Christmas one I did a video on in sections and posted it to the channel. So you have green, multi, and Christmas red. And this one goes around good too. All right. I know this one, I call this one crayon box because of the it's like the crayon colors from the crayon box. That's blue, and you have different colors of orange and red and purple, yellow and brown, and green. And this one's thick. This is a thicker yarn. And it goes all the way around too. The temperatures we have, oh my goodness. Tonight's supposed to be 20 something, but tomorrow is supposed to be 12 degrees in the morning. Friday morning, I'm like, oh my goodness. Now this one's all gray. So that, I like them long because they wrap around a whole lot more neck. And then this is the gray and white. And this is wider just because that's the way I made it. Because you can have it like that. Or you can, or it still wrap around. Or if you wanted to fold it over. Like fold it over. And then wrap it around. and do the same thing. And see, this one you can take that button, a pin or something, and pin it on there. And here's another purple. Now this one's longer. And this is like a lighter, it's not as heavy. So if you you get hot all the time, or you live in down south, but down there it gets cold too now. You know, this will wrap around. It actually keeps you warm because I've tested it out. Let's see here. And then here's my Christmas red and green. And then this wraps around too like this. So this is a shorter one too. Like I said, if you don't want to wrap it around, do like this. Put a pin and still keep you nice and warm. Get the fuzzies from the tree. So, yeah. Those are all, no, that's not all the scarves. Hold on. I'm missing one. I don't know which ones I'm missing. All right. Alrighty. Yeah, I know I was missing a couple more. Now this one is, I call gray and white, but this is a heavier. Actually, the reason why it's heavier is because I used those who crochet. It's like number 3, like a DK weight yarn. So I used 2 of those together. And the white is still worsted 4 weight. So this is nice and heavy. And I'll wrap around too. And then this, you can use it as a scarf. It has, but it's more of a table runner. It will, and my table is 3 feet wide. I measured it. Long, yeah, long. So, and it hangs over my table. And this has got the scallop edges on it. So, and I like this. It's pretty. That's blue. And this one is like a 2-for-1 deal, because I'm only charging for the scarf. And I call this one fire engine, because it makes me think of a fire engine. So the scarf does wrap around, but it also comes with a hat. So you get a scarf and a hat for the price of the scarf. And there we go. Tuck it all in. Be all nice and warm for those 12-degree temperatures. Or 20-degree temperatures, or even 30, 40-degree temperatures. So there we go. And that, like I said, is they are all listed in the post. You have to scroll down a little bit, and then I have, because some of them I forgot to put in, so I may have 2 shorts about the scarves. Well, I ain't been in shorts. They might be in videos. Let me see here. Yeah, I have a video. But all of it is listed in the post. So if y'all would go to the post and you'll find the sizes and everything because I have them listed. Let's see here. All right, so we'll do it this way. Alrighty, this is the blue and white. Then I have the orange creamsicle. Which is this one. The all gray. This is the all gray. Two shades of purple. This is the two shades of purple. Blue, white, and purple. Is this one right here. Blue, purple, and white. Let's see here. All dark blue. This is the all dark blue. Okay, red and black. That one's been sold and it's being shipped out next week. Multicolor orange. Now, what did I do with that one? I might be missing one. Anyway, this is the crayon box. And see, the Christmas green. Over here. This is the Christmas red and green. And then come up here. And I have the gray and white. This is the gray and white. Because the different shades of the gray and black and white. And then we have the thick gray, the faux gray. Spell check. So this is a thick gray and white. And then we have this purple, which is the longer purple. And then we have the shorter purple. And we have the fire engine red. I call it the fire engine one with the hat. And then the blue ice table runner. And then, of course, the Christmas sparkling green, sparkly, and then the red. Alrighty. So they are all 30% off until December 10th. Because I want to get them out. That way I have time to get them out for Christmas, with the mail and everything else. and all. So, but yeah, that's what we've been doing. It's been busy. Got the tree up. Now, Auntie Ellen, I have something special for you because I know she watches G-Quat Traditions. Now, I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to bring you up close. After we put everything on the tree, Anastsia went and got the present that you sent her, and she put her on the tree. I still have not had time to tell her the story of that doll, of this doll, but I thought that it was just a surprise to me because we had finished and everything, and she ran upstairs. Her mom and dad didn't even see her. She came down and she came over and she put her right there. And I thought, oh, that was just so special. She still has a sweetheart heart. So, I thought that was just really cool. Now, I'll put Auntie Ellen's, let's see here. I don't know if I can be quicker or you can be quicker, Rebecca. I can find it. Oh, there she changed it. That's why. I'm looking for G-Quat Traditions, but she changed it to Miss Ellen Pinky Garden Quilt Arts and stuff. Art and something another. Garden Quilt and Art Show is a variety channel featuring 6 living generations: gardening, scratch cooking, quilting, DIY, fine arts, and visual arts and crafts. It's Miss Ellen, Ellen, Pinky. Let me know if you can find it. So, yeah. I thought that was the biggest, I got the biggest thrill and tickle out of that. So, yeah, my arm is finally starting to go down. Um, it itches every once in a while. What I've been doing is the thin blue shirt, this one. Even if I have just a shirt on, I'll put this one on. Miss MS Ellen ELLEN Pankey PANKEY. I'll put this blue shirt on because the sleeves, I can sit there and have the sleeves long. If I get too warm, I can pull them up. And even if I do itch, I have something I'm not picking my fingernails and scratching because sometimes it itches and it's like, hey, Heather, how you doing? You got to go back to the front and watch the very beginning. I did a show for everybody. Can't say what kind of show because it might shut me down. But I did take my clothes off. Ha 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 ha. So I was sitting there talking about losing weight and the inches that come off. Just you want to see the pounds, but sometimes you'll see inches more faster than the pounds and everything. Then I showed my scarves and everything, and then we were talking about the Christmas tree being up and everything, and a special decoration that's on the tree. This doll right here was sent to Anastsia from Miss Ellen Pinky. Um, um, it was just G-Quat Traditions, but it's Miss Ellen Pinky Garden Quilts and Arts. So, you know, Oh my goodness. So then she tells a story about this doll on her channel. So I need to go back and listen to it myself so I can tell Anastasia. But yeah, we've had a busy day and everything, and I wanted to do that last week with the clothes and everything. And then I was like, well, it was Thanksgiving Eve, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, let's change that up a little bit. So I think I got eyelash in my eye. But oh my goodness. No, I had no problems putting my finger in my eyes. I used to put contacts in all the time. I don't know what's in my eye. Ever felt you like a piece of dirt or something in your eye? And it's like, oh my goodness, all day long, my eyes, I'm doing fanning my eyes because they're like not dry, but something burning. I was like, I don't know. So the other day, I couldn't. I was having these headaches, and I was like, what in the world is going on? Still couldn't figure out the headaches, but I think I have. But here was the funny thing. I was laying, I took a nap and everything. I took a nap, but I got up out of the bed. But where I put my glasses on was my shelves. So my shelves are right here, and then here's my bed. So I can put my glasses on the shelves. And I went to reach for my glasses, and I knocked them down. I was like, oh, you're kidding me. So I went to see where they were. When they were, I couldn't. I tried. I reached down there. I tried everything. I'm like, I just don't have long enough arms to reach to get these glasses. So I'm like, okay. So I still have my other glasses, the brown other ones down here and everything, just in case, because there's really no difference between this prescription and that prescription. It's like 1 degree. So I'm just like, I don't know why they gave me new glasses in the first place. I think it's because they could get money from the insurance. So anyway, I got those glasses, and I'm like, oh, yeah, because I lay down because of my headache, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. I put those glasses on, my headache went away. So I'm like, the way, eating differently and, having more fiber and taking the vitamins, which I think I forgot to do today. I think I did. And I forgot to take them yesterday. Taking my vitamins and your vitamin, my D3 and everything, and helping my eyes and everything. And I'm just like, ooh, are these now too strong for my eyes? I just need to go back to those. So I was switching back and forth and everything. I still can see perfectly fine with those other glasses. I just don't understand. Like I said, I think it's because they could just charge the insurance and get the money for whatever. So next year I don't even think I'm going to go see about glasses or anything like that. And then Rebecca, if you can't find it, I'll find it real quick. It's capital M, small S, capital E, then small LLEN, capital PANKEY. So I'm supposed to go. And here's the doctor. You gotta go get this done. You gotta go get that done. Okay. That's all right. She changed it on me. Well, she changed it. I just didn't pay attention. So, that because of your age, you gotta have all these testing done and this, that, and the other. And all my tests always come back okay. Well, there's a thing on Instagram, and I've saved it, but I saw it again, and they talk about how mammograms actually cause the C word and this, that, and the other, and everything. And I'm just like, yeah. I just don't agree with going to have those tests done. So my regular physician wants me to go have a colonoscopy. Well, it's scheduled for December 17th. Well, by that time, we're supposed to have more snow on the ground and stuff and bad weather. Not this girl. No. I love the snow. I love going out in the snow. But since I don't know where my snow boots are, which I was told they were thrown away, and then I was told they were in storage, then I said they were told they don't know where they are. So I'm just like, that's okay. I do have shoes that I got, tennis shoes. Well, not technically tennis shoes, but they are tennis shoes. What I did was got the slip resistant ones like you wear if you work in a restaurant. So if I were to go out, maybe not slip and fall that much, but even with boots on, they were sliding, and I'm just like, no. December 17th comes around, I'll schedule the ride and everything. But if it's bad weather, I'm canceling. Because I'm like, no. The slip and falls I've had over the years So let's see here. Maybe as a kid, then at working 2003, 2002, you name it. I've always something about slipping or falling. My right foot would always go out from underneath me, and that would cause me to. I'm trying to get the. All right, we look at the tree. How about that? Cause that slip and fall, and it's just like, no, I'm not gonna take that chance and slip and fall outside. I've already fallen without even being ice. That was like 3 years ago because I've been wanting the playlist, and I was talking about a slip and fall. And one was in January, and then another one was when I was gardening. So that was like in 2020, 2019, 2020. Oh, yes, we have. We have like it depends on which area, but we have like 2 to 3 inches out there. Oh, yeah, we still have snow. It's not melting anytime soon. Um, in fact, we're supposed to get another clipper thing tonight. So, let's see here. Now, if we go by the airport weather, it says 27 with a low 26. And tomorrow's high is only supposed to be 29. So we're at a high just about for today. She probably will. And then the other thing about us says 27 feels like 20. And the low tonight, 27. So we're at the low, but a 50% chance of snow. So it depends. Because we got these, you're talking about the clipper systems, clippers. So if they come off, when they come off the lakes and they come down, it's called a clipper. So I know in Oregon, you're supposed to be having snow. And she's supposed to be warm. I was talking to Rebecca earlier today. She was talking about the hats and everything. She goes, well, I made these lighter because of people in warmer weather. I said, if you live in the South, I get it. I said, you think you're safe from being, not being cold? Hey, Misha. I said, Rebecca, I said, they get cold too. They're calling them for having, watch the weather people on YouTube, like Weatherman Plus, Direct Weather, Weather on the Go. A lot of people watch Ryan Hall, y'all. There's Weather Nerds Unite. There's a few ones I watch. And Mitch Mitch Weather. Um, his name is Mitch Westerweather. So, and they talk about, it being cold and snow. They're down in Texas, and then, down in Florida, and it's being cold and everything. I was like, last, the last few years or so and everything, 2010 and all then, being cold in Florida. I think the last time I remember being cold in Florida was back in the 80s and maybe in the 90s too. But I do remember in the 80s and all the orange trees got frozen. So I think they learned back then that even the cold can reach down to Florida. It just depends on how the polar vortex goes and everything. Yeah, a lot of people watch Ryan. I just like to watch and ponder on weather. He's in Texas. So I just like watching a variety of different channels as far as weather goes because um, it gets chilly and dusting. I believe it. I believe it. And Cynthia, she's in Arizona. She says further up in Arizona, it gets cold and everything. So, it's like, yeah, there are places that get cold. People don't. Flagstaff, that's what she said, gets cold and gets snow. I was like, yeah, it can get down into the teens here in Florida. It's a cold, wet cold goes right through you. Oh, yes, I understand that. Oh, my goodness. Those wet, cold temperatures, and especially if it's a cold rain. Oh, my goodness. If it's going to be cold, I'd rather just snow than be a cold rain, because that just like gets you down to the bones and everything. And my son used to love snowboarding in Flagstaff. Oh, that's cool. And night was still in the 40s. Oh my goodness. Well, Thursday night into Friday morning, we're supposed to be 12 degrees. I'm like, oh. And then with the wind chill, that's going to be a negative something or another. So I was like, man, you know, put one of those scarves on, put it around you, and it'll keep you nice and warm. We finally got above freezing today, so I got to go walking. Oh my goodness. Yeah, walk in your house. Um, right here, goes in the kitchen and goes around, comes around back like that. I can do it once. Using both canes. So I was like, I would love to get back to walking again. All in time. Maybe all in time. So Tuesday, I was making videos and I got up, went upstairs, took a shower. That was fine. I sat down, but my back has been really like, okay, so right through here is T7, 8, and 9, or 8, 9, and 10. And I tell them I can feel the discs moving and everything else. Saying, you can't feel that. I'm like, you don't have my body. You don't know what I can feel. But I feel that moving. But it's like, okay, normally when people have those herniated bulging discs or whatever, yes, we got our tree up. I'll plug it up before I end and everything with tonight. So, oh yeah, thank you. Hey, babe, how you doing? So with my back, all right, so here are your vertebrae. The disc is in the middle. Most people, when they herniate a disc or something other, it's inward. So let's see here. Your vertebrae, your disc, and it was always pinching inward, like towards where your spinal cord is. Mine is for some reason is outward, like it's going trying to push out my back, and they go, that's not right. So go look at the X-rays, go look at the MRI, whatever, everything, and they can't believe that I sit there and know exactly what's going on with my back. I'm like, what's my back? I should know what's going on with it. But that's what it feels like. It feels like it's trying to, push out my back. And I'm just like, oh, you're kidding me. And so I used to take just a regular water bottle, the round water bottle, the small ones, like the 16 ounce, 12 ounce, and put it behind my back. So it would be almost not a cushion, but like support right there and everything. So, and then, they did the x-rays and everything about my hips and all. So I'm like, okay. So leading up to the yesterday, I was making videos, cooking. For some reason or another, I want to sit down or something, but I got up. Oh my goodness, I could not move my hip. I couldn't do anything with my left hip. The anger when you get when you know what they do, they know. Yeah, yes, they do. So I'm like walking stiff legged. So think of Charlie Chaplin and all them back then, back in the day. They did that little funny stuff with the, walking on the legs like stiff legged and everything. That's the way I was walking with my left leg. I'm just like, oh my goodness. And it hurt so much. And it hurt. And I'm just like, oh. So I'm in the kitchen. My phone goes off. Texting and this, that, and the other is going. I'm just like, so I had the phone in the kitchen filming. And I was just like, I had to sit down. So then it goes, I'm like, it can just sit in there. I'm not going back in there just yet. But so yesterday, for some strange reason, I know I bent over. And I was like, just not thinking, because something had fallen on the floor or something. I forgot about reaching for something. And I was sitting in my chair like this and went over just like this. Just like anybody normally would just bend over and reach over and get something. Normally I won't do that. I'll turn sideways and reach my right because leaning to my left side hurts more. So, and then when I did that and I went forward, it was not like your elbow pops. When you pop your elbow, your knee pops. No, this was it was a push and a jolt. And I was like, oh my goodness, it went back into place. I know it did. Oh, the pain, the sciatic nerve. Oh my goodness. I was just like, Anastasia's upstairs. She's in the class. And I'm down here. I'm just like, okay, Lord. I have not been in that much pain. I mean, severe pains, a crippling pain. And I'm just like, all right, so this pain is back. Okay. I can sit here, I close my eyes. I've got to lay down. So I was laying down. I had for about 2:30 yesterday afternoon. And so I was like, okay, what can I do? Now, most people who know me, if I'm taking an Advil or a Motrin or something, I'm beyond the threshold of pain that I can bear. And I was ready to take a Motrin. And I was like, I really don't want to take a Motrin. But this is just unbelievable. So I go over there, I lay down for a little bit, and I finally it starts to subside a little bit. I got the Motrin out and then realized it's a gel cap. Yeah, no, I couldn't have that anyway if I wanted it because it's made with gelatin, the gelatin capsule. I was like, oh, no. I was like, okay, that's fine. The Lord just like, no, you're not going to need that because I'm going to take care of this. So I lay there on the bed, laid on my right side, put the pillow between my legs again. And I'm just like breathing and breathing. I'm like, I've got stuff to do. I can't just sit here. I was like, okay, I can sit here for a little bit longer, lay there a little bit longer. I heard the car pull in. I still don't understand. I hear everything. So I was okay. Got up. Excuse me. And I was like, oh, wait a minute here. This is a little bit different. Like, okay, I still can't lean over to my left side to pick up. If I'm standing up, I still can't lean over my left side to pick anything up. I still have to do it the right side. But leaning this way, besides my back, it's like, okay, did it actually pop back into place by itself by me leaning forward? I just wasn't thinking yesterday when I leaned forward. So I guess it's like I went forward, and the way I moved, I was just like, oh my goodness, it hurt. And I was like, that sciatic nerve. It was not only down my back of my leg. It went wrapped around the front of my knee and down my front of my leg and everything. I was like, oh no, I don't want another blood clot either. So I know what I did. So after I was laying there, I couldn't take that Motrin. I was like, oh, I got that Tiger Balm right there. So I have eucalyptus essential oil, so I had put some of that in there and mixed it up for sinuses and stuff. I took and I rubbed that all on my knee, behind my leg, up on my hip and everything. And then I laid down and I was like, oh, that helped a whole lot because I was just in pain. Oh my goodness. I was like, this hurts really bad. And I'm like, no, I don't like being in that much pain. So I was like, okay, if I need to take it, I'll take it. Actually, I threw the bottle away yesterday evening. I grabbed that bottle of Motrin and I was like, no, I've gone this long without taking any Motrin. What I do is take the Mullen that I got from Horback. I take it in the morning. I take a dropper full. Sometimes I take 2, depending on the day. And I know when I get up if I need 1 or 2. So I've been taking that. And then the black walnut, I'm supposed to take before meals and I forget. And they say you can take it before you go to bed. So I've been taking 2 dropperfuls of, because it says 14 to 56 drops. So that's like 2.5 droppers full. So I just take 2 before I go to bed. But oh my goodness. Hey, Jan, how you doing? That stuff is the most nastiest stuff ever. That's like, oh. So, yeah, and then I still take my magnesium at nighttime also because it's like, I know that helps. I still have weird dreams, but I've gone, one night I forgot, like 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and was like, oh, I forgot to take my magnesium. So from my experience, magnesium makes you sleepy. And I think I used to take it in the morning, and I would have to take a nap during the day. So I take the magnesium at nighttime because it's like, yeah, it's past my bedtime, but I wanted to pop in and say hello. Oh, thank you, Jan. Love you too. Before you go, I want to tell you I bent over yesterday. My leg, well, I was walking stiff-legged, like Laurel and Hardy used to do in those skits. And I wasn't thinking, and I leaned over, and when I did, and I leaned over to pick up something off the floor, I think my water bottle had fallen over, and my hip, it went like that, a pop, but it was like it moved, and I was like, oh, and it's like, did it go back into place by itself? I think it did. So I'm like, we'll see. Because, I mean, I still can't lean over to pick up stuff when I'm standing up or try to touch my. All right. So if I try to lean over to touch my foot, that's as far as I can get. And it's not because I'm overweight or anything, because I can sit there and do that with my right hand. So it's actually still something there, but it's not like it was before. So after the first of the year, we did find a chiropractor that only charges like $30 a visit or something like that. So I'm gonna call him after the first of the year and set something up. And everything. It's like, yeah, I think I had a slight adjustment myself. I know. Because I was telling everybody, it's not like when you pop, your arm pops or your knee pops or anything. This was like, it was like a jolt type thing. And I was just like, oh, and then the pain, the sciatic nerve. Oh my goodness. Whew, all right, babe, have a good night. So that sciatic nerve pain was so bad. Oh, but I was like, didn't take anything for it. Just put some Tiger Balm stuff on it, lay down, and go on a power and get a bone. And my body adjusted. I'm way overdue. I know. Exactly. I know there's a lot of inflammation in there. They say it's osteoarthritis, but they never tell me how much, the degree of arthurs in my hip, except that, it's there. And the chiropractor that I was going to, all he wants to do is surgery. I'm like, I don't think so. Yes. Yeah. And that sciatic, oh my goodness, it was back behind my leg, down around my knee. I have not hurt like that in a while. It's like since I started losing weight, it has calmed down. But I was just like, oh. So yeah, I'm like stuck. I weigh 245. And I'm like, come on, I was supposed to be lower than that by now. Make sure if I could get in the, okay. I could get in the tub. There's no problem getting in the tub. It's getting out of the tub. So I would love to take Epsom salts baths, but yeah, it's not. If it's getting out of the tub is the issue. Though, but I have lost weight, so I might try that just to see. So, but my regular physician, he said this that they're telling me. He goes, my injuries and everything has nothing to do with my weight. All right, so degenerative disc disease from the top of my spine to the bottom of my spine. And as far as in the sacrum and everything, that's been since roughly, I would say, between 2000 2005, somewhere around there. Now, the neck, I understand probably longer because I fall asleep. I know. I had 2 injuries to my neck. So, both C4, C5, somewhere around there. So, those 2 right there. I said those 2. Cancer, all right. Hey, see, I have, though, I have some that I do put on during the day, that I wear during the day, that's been helping. It's just, you know, it's going to take a long time because I've had it for so long. Barbara O'Neill, she says, she goes, if you start like 3 days, it'll take 3 weeks. But if it's been longer than that, it's going to take a long time. I'm like, I know it's going to take a long time. We did silly stuff as kids growing up, especially jumping on, being doing the ramps and everything we like they did with the motorcycles. And well, we can do that. We just do it with our bikes. Yeah. Um. So and then this T 8 9 10 or 7 8 9 that came from the slip and fall in 2009 when I was working at Papa John's. So those are herniated. And then L3, 4, and 5 was from a car accident. But L5 and S1 has fused itself together, so there's no disc there for a cushion. It's just bone on bone. And I found that out in 2020. Yeah, so, but in 2009, when the doctor told me that I had degenerative disc disease in the sacrum and everything, I go, oh, that makes sense. She goes, what do you mean? She goes, I told her what I used to do as a private investigator. I said, that's why I can't sit in the van that long anymore. She goes, yeah, that's right. So it was like, it was pretty funny. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. So that's like here, sitting in this chair, which was a good chair when I got it. I have to get up and down. That's why y'all see me moving, and I move up and gotta move around. Um, Anybody I'm on the phone with, I'm like, hold on, I gotta get up. I walk into the kitchen just to walk in there, come back and sit down. Because I was like, this is like, but that's just the way my body is. And Misha, when we went out to eat, I don't know if y'all even noticed that. I was always doing something. Those chairs were hard. But, sit too long. So I got up a little bit and sat down. Because if I sit too long, someone's got to pull me out of the chair. Yeah, it does. It makes sense. Because, now, when they did a couple years ago, the chiropractor did x-rays or whatever, he didn't say anything about the genital disc disease. He was just talking about osteoarthritis in my hips. The left one's worse than the right. And I'm thinking to myself, how, there's a hair somewhere. Is the left worse than the right? And it's the right side I keep falling on. You don't have a butt. Yeah, I need this cushion. It's a hair. That's just crazy. There's a, could not get it. No, he sit there. There's like, there's a hair rare there, but it's like, how's it worse on the left when I keep falling on the right? That doesn't make sense to me. You would think it would be the opposite of the way around. That if I'm falling on the right side more than I have on the left, that it'd be the right side, the right side that has whatever. I'm like, y'all just want money, is all y'all want. I know. I was just like, that doctor was like, well, you need a hip replacement. Eventually, you'll need a hip replacement. But you need to lose weight first before you need a hip replacement. But lose weight so you can get. This is the way he was saying it. Was like, a woman giving me a butt with you. Yeah, that's interesting how genetics are like that. When is Jan's meetup? That depends because I gotta save money up. because I have to take the bus. It's always my anniversary weekend. Second weekend in June. Hey, they get that money that they said they're gonna give out for tariff how do you say it? A tariff, not like a tariff refund or something another. Okay, June 6th to the 8th. Yeah, a tariff refund type thing. Yeah, that will work. My daughter-in-law goes, I need to hold my breath. I got some kind of jeans. I got some. Oh yeah, jeans. Yeah, I tell you, I know I'm a mutt because I just a mix of everything from German and French, Swedish, British, Irish, Greek, Polish. They say a little bit of Hungarian and Slovak, but still, the most of it's still like German. Then it's Russia. Um, Something else came up, and then I said a 0.01% Nigerian. And I was like, that's cool. So funny. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be awesome. Oh yeah. 6th to the 8th. I'll write that down. Sixth and the 8th. Alrighty. Yeah, I have to figure out how much a bus ticket is. Shoot, I got all that too, plus Italian, Hispanic. You know, we have a special guest to show up at my meetup names. Oh, okay, cool. It's always cool to have a special guest. Oh, I know. I was like, now my son, he did his, and when his update just a while back, he had, oh, what was it? He had Asian, and then he had, I don't know if it was Jewish or something like that, or somewhere right there. But his goes back as far as indigenous people. So he's got all the way, back from there. It's at the Casanova Hills Resort. Okay. GACOADE Resort. All right. Got it. Well, everyone's special. That'd be a surprise, yes. Okay. I know what you meant. So yeah, his goes back as far as indigenous peoples, what it says. And Gasconade. Cool. I kind of remember where Richland, Missouri is at. Yeah, I'll Google it and everything. So, but it does say that him and I were related. 50, it was 49%, something like that. Another, but everything that I was told growing up, and he was told is he doesn't have, and I don't have either. My mom always told us We had Cherokee Indian, and she might have Cherokee Indian in her, but I have not a lick of Indian in me whatsoever. Native American, I don't have a lick of it. My son has it all. And where he got it from had to be from his father, which we don't talk about him. But alrighty, Jan, we'll see you later. So as far as that genetics part, he didn't get it from me, but oh my goodness, I know he is. This well, my son, I will call boy, ever since he was a kid, he can do the Indian call. I cannot do it. I have tried and everything, and he can from the man. He just takes a breath and boy, he can belt that out. I'm just like, where in the world did you get that? When he was growing up, I was like, because I sure can't do it. It's because he has that genetics in him. And he does. He used to cut his hair in a mohawk. And every time he did it, you could see the Indian in him all the way through. It's like you'd be the one to be scalping. Just because of the way he looked. But it was cool. And when him and my daughter-in-law first met, and he had, he had a mohawk and everything. I was like, I'm surprised he didn't scare her away. But yeah, my now I have a cousin. Had a cousin on my mom's side, which was my grandfather's. She wasn't a cousin. She was an aunt. She was a great aunt, I guess. You say that? Because she was my mom's dad's sister. It's called her Aunt Effie. And because back in the day, because we didn't get taught this either in school, Confederacy and everything. So she went back to and went down her heritage and everything, and was able to be. Let's see, how did I have it? Sisters of the Confederacy, daughters of the Confederacy, or something like that. And if you could prove that your lineage was the blah 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 blah, you got in there or whatever. So my grandfather, my mom's dad, and everything, they were all born and raised in a log cabin, 1800s and everything. When he was born in 1910, 19, somewhere between 1900 and 1910, somewhere like that. And so they had kept that cabin in the family, oh my goodness, all the way up to like the early 2000s. But that cabin actually set on the Appomattox courthouse, and they watched. And this is what family and all told me. They watched General Lee surrender to the Union at the end. Let's see, it wasn't Aunt Effie. It was another aunt that lived in that cabin. And I remember, probably 7 or 8 years old, going down there to visit them in that cabin, and the bullets from the Civil War were still embedded in the logs. They never took it out. But that was part of history. They were just going to leave it there. When the last living relative, actually, besides nephews or whatever, sister passed away, she gave it to her nephew, or supposed to be her son or nephew, like that, and he gave it over to the historical society, so that it could still be preserved and everything. But I still remember going to that cabin and looking around at it, and I was like, this was just so cool. But now we know about all that and that history, I'm just like, I don't consider myself a Confederate anymore. Because I'm going to put that probably would have traded sides. Just a FYI. Yeah, I was born and raised in Virginia. I am not from Ohio. I lived in South Carolina. I lived in Missouri. So, but that's why I hear the Southern accent so much. Sometimes more than others. Just depends on what the words are. But and I'm still proud of our country. Um, my mom did do her ancestry all the way back to where 12th generation came over as an indentured servant to get away from the King of England, and then uh, almost like a military break. Oh, yeah. So this is what my mom found out. Right. So all those pictures with the George Washington. Um, I don't know what bank of the river it was, but the soldier that was George Washington holding his horse. That's like 12th generation on her side family holding that reign of that horse. So yes, from the Revolutionary War to the Civil War, um, to World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War. Um, what was that after the Vietnam War? Um, oh my goodness gracious. I want to say Operation Freedom. Was that one's next? Or something like that. So yes, both my mom's side and my dad's side has a long history of military. So my dad was in the Army. He was in the Korean War. I had an uncle that was in the Korean War. 3 uncles in the Navy. So I know 2 uncles were there at D-Day. One was on the boat coming in, and one was parachuting in. I had a cousin that was in Vietnam. And then, let's see here. Vietnam. Then 2 cousins that were in the Navy after a Gulf War. Yeah, Gulf War, and then the other one after the Gulf War. So, yeah, I'm proud of our history. And I'm proud of our military and everything. So, but yeah, it's very fascinating and everything to see how when you start tracing things back and everything. I know it's so cool. Now, I could sit there, Desert Storm and Desert Shield. There you go. Those are the other ones. But yeah, one had a cousin in the Gulf War and one in Desert Storm. Your dad was in the Navy. Oh, that's cool. Navy and now, then chaplain. Yep. So my cousin that was in Vietnam, he was a Marine. Um, so Marines, Navy, Army, the Coast Guard, or the Air Force. I had a cousin, I think was in the Air Force. Trying to think. Was he in the, I think he was in the Air Force. Yeah, so we had Army, Navy, Marines, and Air Force all in our family. Um, so every time we got together for like not just only family reunion, grandpa and dad, me and my brother Army. Yeah, Army. Yeah, there you go. In the Army. I can't remember how that part goes. Be all you can be in the Army. That's what the tune used to be. Ooh, ah. Yeah. I know. was that's who. So you had all of the simplified and everything, and then we, we just go we called down to the country. It was down to my grandmother's house, my dad's mom, and they all sit there and start talking about war stories and everything. And we could sit and listen up to a certain point. And then when my cousin from that was in Vietnam started talking, they made us leave. I was like, I wanted to hear. My husband, grandfather was the youngest, had to take care of 600 acres. Wow, that's so cool. Your dad volunteers, they wouldn't have to go as long. I understand that. Um, I see my dad, he worked on the electrical, he was in the signal corps. So he was on the power lines. And my mom had pictures of him up on the power poles and everything. And I always thought that was so cool. I'd be the only one that asked him questions about what he did in the army and everything. So he would show me the marches they had to do and everything. And then whether he was telling me stuff, and my mom came to the front door because we were out front, and he's telling me, she goes, she don't need to know that. And I just thought, it's like, so he stopped telling me the stories. It's like, his best friend, oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, I know my dad said he saw that too. I know, but that was, so a couple months or so ago, we were sitting here talking and everything. And yeah, the stories are great. We were sitting there and we were, my son and I were talking, we were talking about ancestry, we were talking about them, talking about the stories and everything. And I said, yeah, every time he was going to tell us the stories about Vietnam, they would make us leave. And he goes, they didn't make me leave. I looked at him. I said, that is not right. He got to laughing at me. And he goes, we heard every single story he did. I was like, you know what? I don't even want to know. Don't even tell me. I have a feeling I know what he did and everything. I don't want to know. Even though, all those stories have come out, whatever, but I'm just like, no, that's okay. I don't want to know. My dad didn't really tell me many stories until his later years. He didn't know he had PTSD. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, they didn't know what to label all that back then. When they came back home, some of them, were fine, some of them were not. But, you know, it's just funny. I gonna say that didn't happen. Because people found out later on, you know, you just never know. Now with, all the 23andMe and Ancestry and all the, things that you can do. And, you know, I have, I did 23andMe and it's like 4,000 people. I'm like, what? Can I be that many? But that's what now this year I didn't have any update of people doing 23andMe. So I don't know if because of them being in the news and everything. So, breach and all this other stuff. I'm just like, you know what? My identity has been stolen. There won't no breach of information whatsoever. So, I always feel like I'm missing a sister. You probably are. So, if y'all come in Monday nights, I've told a little bit about identity theft and everything else, and that's been going on way before the internet. Ancestry found I'm related to the McCoys and Hatfields. That the most cousins ever. Okay, Heather, you and I may be related because my mom says she. And then I was before 20, all this DNA stuff. She would go around to the courthouses and churches and everything, and all the documents and everything, and libraries and stuff and everything. And she found out she was related to the Hatfields and McCoys. That's so funny. I know. It's just amazing what, when you do the DNA and everything, stuff that, what comes up. And I was like, after I did the 23andMe, I was like, I wonder if I come across anybody on YouTube that I'm related to. It would be so funny. You could connect the dots. Because that would, that'd be interesting. Now, I have people that like second, third cousins here in Ohio. No names that I know or that I'm familiar with that I should be related to has ever popped up. That I know that would be so cool. So if I took my main name and other names that I know of cousins that married and none of those names, nothing's all popped up, nothing. So that's I was like, I know I was adopted. So nobody wants to say anything, or the ones that do know are passed away now. So that's all right. Phil Beckett's too. Oh, that is hilarious. He's so cool. So, it's like, okay, do I really want to go? All right. For a long time, I wanted to find out about, who I'm related to and everything else. And when all that information started coming in and everything, I was just like, because my son and my daughter-in-law did theirs first, and then they did the next year. They did me, and that was like 5 years ago. So they did theirs first, 2019, 2020, or something like that. Then I did mine 2021 or something another. And but when he got his, then it came up German and French and Swedish and some British and Irish. Is it Scottish or Irish? Or maybe just Irish. And then Scandinavian. He's got Scandinavian in him. And then just Indian. And I was like, see, I told you. I was like, I told you. I knew it. I knew it. Ever since I was a kid, I knew I was adopted. He, he got to laughing. And I was like, that's just proved it right there. I knew I was adopted. So it was a hard wait for a whole year to sit there and get mine done. But yeah, sure enough, mine came back. German, French, Sweden. It had some Scandinavian. Then it was Polish, Poland. Um, and then Greek, because my mom always said it was Italian. I was like, I don't have a lick of Italian in me whatsoever. It's Greek. Um, Greek, something else down that way. And then the 0.01 Nigerian. I was like, my paternal great grandma was French. She went back north to Canada. Oh my goodness. Let's see, we were growing up, we were always told everybody in Canada was French. Oh, French. Nobody ever told us they talked English. So when I sit there and um it was, who was it? I don't know if it was Lori from Lori's World, a couple other people, and they were talking. I'm like, wait a minute, they're talking English. I was like, so someone told me some talk French, they're all English. I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, but yeah, they were told they all talk French. We had, that's why we had to take French in school. I was like, all I don't know is maybe Missouri. You know, you know, I know some. Mademoiselle, a few others. I have to look at the words to remember, but I was just like, all I knew is that that's where soldiers went AWOL to when they didn't want to deploy. Yeah, that's what we were told too. If they didn't want to go, if they wanted to get out, they had to go to Canada. Mm. I was like, oh my goodness. Why do you go where it's cold? You should have went down where it's warm, Mexico. But I like the cold, so I finally went to the cold. No, we measure, Mademoiselle. Um, oh, I know a few other French words, but I can't think of them right now. Let's see if it's, and that's like with any language. Yeah, merci. If you speak it and you use it daily, that's like Spanish. Now, I've had a lot of Hispanic drivers with Uber and everything, and the last one I had a couple of weeks ago, he spoke Spanish and everything, but he spoke English. Uh, so we could, communicate and everything. And the ringtone I have for let's see if I can play this without getting. Well, all right. So you release Navidad. So when that went off because I was getting a notification and everything, he has, oh, you. I'm like, yes, I know that song. So he was really nice and everything. He played that song for us all the way home. And I said, he goes, you know Spanish? I said, I know a little bit. And like, como está, muy bien, gracias, de nada. And I could count and everything. And he was like, well, I said, yeah, I know enough to start a conversation and get in trouble. Oh, what gentlemen. All about the da 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 la 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 la. All about the la. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's just one of the songs we learned growing up too. But my friend in school, growing up, she took French, but she didn't stick with it. But when she knew it really well. Yeah, I know they got those automatic translators on phones. The only time I used that was when the grass people out there kept cutting down my flowers every single time. So, but yeah, that poor sunflower, and I say poor sunflower because it grew, but the stalk didn't grow thick enough to hold it up, and it just like, it's like, I can't wait French, obviously. It's okay. Don't bloom on the But our library has go online, has free classes to take online to learn different languages. So I was like, oh, I would still like to learn a language and everything. I would even like to learn sign language. I took that in middle school, and like I said, you just didn't keep up with it. So it didn't say you don't know it anymore. You know, we all know this one is "I love you." This is for Jesus. But as far as anything else, we were learning a little bit when Anastasia was little. But we didn't stick with it either. I know a bunch sign language and Spanish. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think this is more, wash. Now I know like sunrise or something like that's either sunrise or sunset, sunrise. You know, we did this for the Bible. Now I can do like sign like do D-O, and that's G. That's G. I do watching bad words. That's terrible. No, that's hilarious. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I think those are the ones that are easier picked up than other words. I was trying to think of how to say hello in French, but I cannot remember that. I don't know. It's just like the Grey Poupon. Pardon me, Missouri. Do you have any Grey Poupon? And I'm like, I got like thinking about that commercial. I was like, Missouri is French, not English, and everything. So it's like, ah. So yeah, everybody that came in a little bit later. You have to go back and watch the very beginning because I had layers of clothes on to show not how much weight I've lost, but the inches I have lost and everything that, so I've gone from, let me get them. Let's see, that's too long. All right. So now let's deal with this. And this is from 20, I got hurt in 2009, 2010. I got these. So that's how big I used to be. Now I can about almost fit in one pants leg. So not too bad. But I had these on, another pair of other gray ones, a pair of jeans on, and these on, and I probably could have put another pair of pants on between these and the gray ones. put the jeans on, and then put these on, and still had room for another pair of pants. So I just, these are just like around the house pants now. Y'all see me in these because these are warm. Actually, these are warm. And these are about the, almost a pants leg. And that. So I'm just like, and then the jeans, the same like, these are a size 22. I can get into the 24. I can get into the 22. So I'm in between that 22 and 20. I'm determined to get into. But the 22s I can't wear because they got rips in them, and I've tried to sew them up and they still ripping. So here's these. So just about, yeah. So these just like fall down. Oh my God. Oh. I can upcycle. What? Yeah, where the they're right here. That's what I was thinking about doing. See, these are left right here, kind of like almost at the knee on both legs. So what I was thinking about doing is cut off and then make them shorts. Oh yes, I have a pair of jeans I want to wear. That is my goal. Back when we got the stimulus checks, that's when I went and got the size 22, size 20. I think I said I got size 20 and size 18 upstairs. So yes, I have those goals, which I should be in by now, but we've come to the conclusion, and I say we because there's several people and I've been talking about this, that the reason why my weight stalled was, all right, so part of it was October was just so many things going on, but the other part was the shots. You can make a giant stocking of the legs you don't keep. My mom used one of your little kids' jeans to make stockings. It was so cool. Oh, that's I like that idea. Some. I like that. Yeah. So, come to a conclusion. The part of it was the shots because I was still doing low carb. I mean, I still am doing low carb, but it just wouldn't do anything. And as soon as I would get those shots and everything, I would swell up so much, and my hands were so tight. And then, this would be further down, then it'd be up again. And this, and like tonight, it's like because I ate pasta, but and I was just like, and I was just feeling awful sometimes. But I was like, it was just the headaches. But then of course, the first few times you have to lay down anyway because your body's adjusting and everything. And then I'm just like, oh, no, something's not right here. Because the last shot I had in November, something was off. And I was just like, then I started digging into things and everything. Found out they were not billing my insurance like they're supposed to. And so got my insurance involved, and I need to check up on that because I got another bill that I'm just like, you already told me that I didn't have to owe anything. And, so there's just some questions going on about that. So I've like stopped completely. So, see, Saturday is the 6th. So yeah, I got a calendar on that wall, a calendar on that wall. There's one in the kitchen, so I can see. Yeah, the 6th of Saturday. So it'd be a month after since I've went and got a shot. Because they still want to tell me what the dilutant was that they were. I don't know if it was saline solution or what it was. It could have been glycerin. It could have been something else that they were using. Cynthia told me that she goes, it could have been a steroid that they were using that tell you. It's like, yeah, I know. That's why I probably was puffy. I don't know. But I do notice that my mother's ring / grandmother's ring is really loose on my fingers now. And I actually can get on my left hand. Because usually didn't wear it on my left because it was too tight. So I just wear it on my right hand. But now on my right, it's really loose. Because I'm always sitting here adjusting because it twists by itself. Sitting here doing something, I'm like, okay, come on. So it was like, oh. So today I had a nice salad. I was saying, usually when I get up, by the time I get up and I just sit here and get the coffee done and sit down, do the things I'm going to look at on the computer, whatever, and I'm do my normal routine. Some mornings I might eat breakfast around 10 o'clock or so, but then by that, if I'm watching something or trying to catch up on things, next thing I know, I'm like, I'm hungry, and it's like 11:30 or so. I was like, oh, that's why. So usually it's just brunch, whatever, lunch. And that depends on the day. I say like today I made a big salad. So it was lettuce and cucumbers, celery, turkey sandwich, things that I just cut up. Let's see what else. The celery, the lettuce, the turkey, the cucumber, and mustard greens. But only used olive oil, and then I did salt and pepper and turmeric for seasoning. So because turmeric helps with inflammation, according to what I have researched. I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV, but I was an EMT for 8 years. I did that say it. And then I had a friend tell me, he was, he said, you could, after my EMT expired, he tells me, you could have taken that and gone and got your nursing degree. I'm just like, now you tell me. I said, what good does that do now? And I was hurt. Yes, that's exactly right. EMTs know a lot more than the doctors do. The doctors only see the patient, you know, because out in the field, you better know what you're doing and know your stuff and everything. And things change so much and everything. So you know, and then you gotta go do your continuing education and everything. I was a patient for many years. You could be a Hawkeye like on MASH, yeah. I know. So yeah, yeah, yeah. When they do the mass casualty stuff and everything, if you're not, I was always working or volunteering when they did that because it was always like on Saturdays. But that was pretty cool because they use all that moulage makeup and everything to, So when we did state testing, you had this injury. What do you do and everything and everything. So that was pretty cool. And I've told this story before. One of the instructors for the county, I was doing it's called continuing education credits and everything. But I was sitting in his class, And he goes, because we had already been, we kind of knew each other as far as like seeing each other in passing or whatever. Oh, thank you. I did not know that. I'll have to look into that. And so I was the patient for everybody because they were all new in the class and everything. So I was the patient. So he was like, after class, he goes, "So when you coming over to the county?" I said, "When I don't have to be a firefighter." He goes, like, "We can't do that." I said, "Then I can't come over to y'all." He goes, "You can come volunteer with us." I said, "Now, how well will that sit with who I volunteer with right now?" He goes, "Oh, yeah." I goes, "Yeah, they don't like that too much." He goes, "Why don't you switch to the other one?" He told me which one to go to because they don't mind at all. So everywhere I went, um, there was like I said, three main volunteer um, EMS things that have been there for a long time in Virginia. Um, everyone, after I got my stuff and everything, and you need to come over here. You need to come over here. You need to come over here. Da 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 da. Even as the county is further out, I went to visit and did stuff with and everything. You come volunteer? Everybody was asking me. I was like, "What is going on?" So finally, one of the nurses at the hospital said, "You don't know what people talk about you." I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I just do my job, do what I was supposed to do." And they go, "Everybody wants you because you don't play around." I'm like, "Huh?" She goes, "Because when you run on the squad, we love it when we hear your voice." Like, what do you mean? She goes, "When y'all mark up," she goes, "we hear it too because they get the information. They know what to say. They love it." They go, "We love it." They goes, "And the county loves it too. People are jealous of you also." I'm like, "Well, yeah, that I know." She goes, "But the reason why is because you don't play games. That patient is a patient. Um, when you get to the hospital, you have all your stuff filled out and everything. All your paperwork's done. The transfer of patient to the nurses or whatever is done. You tell us what's going on, blah, 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 blah." And she goes, "You're done." You come to the desk, you give out whatever needs to be done. And she goes, "You leave. You go. You don't linger. You don't talk. You don't flirt with the guys or single, whatever, like the firefighters flirt with the nurses or whatever." She goes, "You get your stuff. The people in unit have got all the bedding, all the stuff in the unit ready to go, waiting for you. And if we need, they have free drinks. They used to have, I don't know anymore, when I was doing it, like snacks and everything, crackers and soda and everything to grab because some days that's all you got was those little snacks and everything because you was always busy and everything." And she told me, and she wasn't the only one that told me, there was a bunch of them standing right there and they were like, "Yeah, Nancy, we like it when you run it. Everybody at the hospital, once someone knows that you're on the unit, they call the rest of us and let us know that you're running that day." I'm like, "Oh my goodness." They go, "But you get in the unit and y'all leave." Um, no, one time we got in the unit to leave and we told the county that, gave our number and everything that, we're 10-8 from the hospital, but we weren't in the area and everything. Um, and that day it was a busy, another busy day for paid people and everything. So as we're going back, now I'll never forget this day because it was the day President Reagan had passed away. So me and my driver stopped at one of the funeral homes because they all had where you could go sign the book and everything, and they would ship it to uh, Nancy Reagan and all. So he had passed away, so we had stopped. We had time. We stopped at one of the funeral homes and everything, and he had the radio, and they called us, and we were available, and we were like, yeah. And they said, well, accident, blah blah blah, and everything. Well, all the volunteer units and paid units were out on calls. There was nobody else. It was just us. And so we get the call, we go. It was head on. This guy, we don't know what he was doing, what he was thinking. He was driving in the opposite lane. So he either just was, he wasn't diabetic, but I guess he was borderline diabetic, whatever. He was just, not paying attention to what he was doing. And so the lady at the light, I don't even think she saw until it was too late. So we get there. By the time we get there, um, paid fire had got him out of the car and everything, and they done their assessment and everything, and they put him in our unit and everything. So the the paramedic is telling me that some of these paramedics, I'm going to tell you, they think they're God's gift to the whole world and think they know everything. This one did. Well, I don't, in that part of the county, I didn't know them as well as the area that we worked. So he goes, he gets on there, starts telling me what's, to transfer information and everything. And his right leg had a prosthesis on his right leg from his knee down and everything. So I'm like, okay, so I'm doing my own assessment while the paramedic is still in the back of the unit and everything. I turned and looked at him. I know I gave him that mom look or whatever. I just looked at him and said, what in the world are you thinking? He looked at me. I said, that's not his right leg. That's his left leg. I said, you better look at it. Yeah, I was so mad at him. That would be my cousin. She thinks she knows it all. So he just like he had never had anybody tell him he was wrong or anything. Yeah, I couldn't tell from the left from the right. Oh man, I laid into him and I was like, get it out of my unit and I've got it now. And I told him to get out. He goes, well, if you need, I'm like, we're not that far from the hospital. I think we'd be all right. It was like only a couple miles. I mean, we weren't that really far from the hospital we were going to. So, in the back of the unit and everything, and I'm trying to help this man and everything, and he is fighting me tooth and nail. He is swinging at me. He wanted me to, first he wanted me to rub his foot or whatever. I was like, no, I need some information. I need to do this and everything. When all of a sudden he starts swinging at me, I'll call for because my driver, he goes, are you all right? I said, no, I'm not. I said, I am not doing anything else with this man until we get to the hospital, or we can pull over and someone else can come get him. So he did. He got on the radio, told the county that we have a combative patient in the back of the unit. And when we pulled over, I had no idea what parking lot we were in and everything because I really wasn't paying attention. I'm trying not to get hit. So here's the man on the stretcher. I'm back this way like this. And we stopped. Well, when we stopped, the side door here opened up and the two back doors opened up. Where the side door opened up right here, two police officers jumped in. I jumped over that seat in between those two officers, and they looked at me so funny. I said, you can tell him if he swings and hits me, tries to hit me again, he can go to jail or he can go to the hospital because I'm not one that's going to be hit. And they looked at me, they go, what? And when the back door opened up, it was a captain and the one of the chief firefighters. And boy, they actually got me out of the unit and had a nice little talk with that man and everything. And I heard them. They said they flat out told him, "You have a choice. You can go to jail for assault and battery on a public servant, or you can go to the hospital and get taken care of." What happened? His left leg from the knee down was prosthetic. His right foot was broken, and he had some other injuries and everything. So, you know, he decided he was going to go to the hospital, and then the hospital nurse, they knew everything was going on. Did you do a diabetic test? I'm like, lady, he won't let me touch him or anything. Well, you can't bring him in until you get a test done. I was like, oh my goodness gracious. So we sat in the hospital, back up at the emergency door, so I could sit there and do a diabetic test on him, see if he was diabetic or whatever. And we took that test. It won't register. I'm like, oh well, I took one. Whether it registers or not, we're going in. And so my driver goes, Nancy, I'm like, he's too combative. He's not going to let me take it the correct way anyway. I took it. I couldn't get anything on it. Whatever. We didn't have cell phones. Like, did we? Yeah, it was 2003. But we didn't have the cell phones that took pictures now like we do now. So I was like, oh, if I had a camera, I would have taken a picture so that she could see that it didn't register. He just shook his head. So, we got him in and everything, transferred on, we left. Well, later that day, and later about hour or so or more, something like that, him and I had another call, and we ended up going back to the same hospital. That hospital did more like with strokes and, I want to say heart attacks, more stroke type things and trauma and stuff and everything. But that was the hospital the patient wanted to go to. So we get in there, and one of the girls come up to me. Actually, the nurse I was talking to was the same nurse and everything, a different nurse, but she was with that other nurse. And she leaned over to me. She goes, "Someone's gonna come apologize to you." I said, "What do you mean?" Um, so yeah, someone needs to apologize to you. I'm like, okay. She goes, "After you got that man in with the car accident." I'm like, yeah. So he goes, "Oh, he swung at her and he got so combative they had to strap him down." I was like, "Oh, really? I said, "Did they even get a diabetic testing done on him?" Like, I know. Because he was too combative. It's like, oh my goodness. She did. She came over and apologized. I said, "That's all right. You're doing your job. I'm doing my job." I said, "The next time, just remember, it feels a whole lot different. You know, sometimes we can get things, sometimes we can't. Depends on what the patient is doing." And she goes, "I understand." So, and that was that one day. I never saw that nurse again or anything, but it's just like, you know, out in the field is just totally different to what's in what they do inside. Now, when I finished doing EMT and everything, paramedics now, they have a lot of stuff now and everything they can do on scene for that main purpose and everything. But, you know, if you're 15, 20 minutes away from the hospital, you're going to do what you need to do out in the field, kind of like, differently than in the hospital setting. because you don't have all the equipment that you have at the hospital. You're going to have what you have and then do what you can do and get that patient to the hospital as quick as possible. We had it was called load and go. So within 10 minutes or less, you get to the patient, say it's a car accident, and they keep saying they're fine, and all of a sudden, you can see if they're not fine with, checking their eyes and everything. Or, maybe it's a bad accident and it's like, okay, you load and go, backboard, bandage, stop the bleeding, get them on the backboard, get them in the back of the unit, everything has to be taken care of as you go into the hospital. That's on load and go because that's trauma. They need to get to the hospital fast because there's that stuff you can't do out in the field. Um, Other things, see, we went like with, I want to say code 1, 2, and 3, but I don't think they used the word code. 1 was bad, it's the emergency, get there. 2, it's, someone's going to cut themselves and they're bleeding, but not so much that they need, immediately to get to the hospital. It's like, and then, that's a lot of stuff mentally to deal with doing that job. Yes. And then 3 was, oh, they have a headache, but it's not that bad. But they call 911 anyway. But then when you get to the scene, then you do assessment. Then you can change it up to where, oh, let's go now, or however. But oh yeah, there's stuff that you see that no, you think police, fire, and EMS, and you see people on the worst day of their life, whether it be accidents or sick or you fall. Some things are worse than others. But yeah, and then I think that I've only ever had 2 combative patients. Um, the one was with regular fire that we county, that fire, that part of the county in that fire area that we worked with. And then and he was drunk and fell and everything. And it was me and the other girls, or 2 other girls or 3 other girls that were with me. They were juniors. So, and then it was me and the driver, and he was an EMT also, but he was driving that day. And the guy would not let us do anything. And he was wanting to get up, trying to get up out of the stretcher. And his name was John. He pulled over. He goes, I'm going to give you a choice. Either you can go to jail, or I can call the police right now. You can go to jail, you can go to the hospital. He goes, you touch one of those girls again, he goes, you will go to jail. Because I said, you're drunk. I think your best bet be go to the hospital instead of going to jail. He goes, yeah, I think so too. Then he started telling us all how pretty we were. I was like, oh, goodness. I remember after my accident, I got a pulmonary embolism. Yep. I got put on blood thinners, and one day I passed out, woke up to like 10 paramedics standing over me. That was weird. Oh, girl, I understand. Yeah, after I got that cortisone shot in my hip, I ended up with 3 of them. One behind my knee, one in my calf, and one in the front of my leg. I understand. Yeah, I saw all kinds of stuff. So with the EMS and the PI work and my security work, I've got it started. I have maybe 5 pages of it, but I am writing a book. Along with, trying to write the cookbook, do 2 channels, make videos, edit. crochet, and and everything else. Trying to get Christmas is basically done. There are some crochet things out projects. I mean, not crochet, cross stitch projects I want to do to put on the Christmas tree because last year, Anastsia won't get mad at me if I do this. I made an ornament a couple of years ago. It'll just be easier if I just show it this way because it says Merry Christmas. I cross stitched that. So I have some other ones I want to do. I do have the gingerbread one that I've got done that I need to cut out and put up there. And so, just all kinds of different stuff. Shoot, I've been slacking on videos for one channel. I've been too busy with stuff. I know. I know. Let's sit here. Like I said, and yesterday, like I said, for the cooking channel, I made a side, then I did a main dish, then some other sides, and then I did dessert. But I've got to edit on the phone, all those little doodad things that I put on there, so then I can paste it to the channel. Then I have to go and edit on that, so I can sit there. I need to see if you can crochet a flag throw. How much? Oh, yeah. You know how to get in touch with me. Definitely. Definitely Instagram me. So yeah, I've got this yarn. There's a book over there. So this is what I'm working on right now. And the project is supposed to be a blanket with tic-tac-toe with X's and O's. And the way I've got to do it is not the way it's in the book. Because that I was reading the directions the other day. I was like, that's just too much. Look what she did. So I was like, oh my goodness, that's the only thing on the thing. But I've got something to show y'all here in a minute. So they went and got the stuff for the Christmas tree and the decorations. Well, there's 2 boxes that are labeled Christmas. One says Stuffies, and the other says Christmas. And so they bought both of them. And I'm like, oh, this is just Anastasia Stuffies in it. And my, not my Christmas wreath, but my other wreath. And I'm like, I was looking at my fall one that I made. And I'm just like, okay. So I went over there and I'm like, someone just told me, go over there and check again. Why you put Christmas on there when there's no Christmas stuff in there? So I pulled out one bag and I was like, oh, I forgot I put these in there with the stuffies. So Anastasia has one of them upstairs. And I forgot about these last year and I couldn't remember where they were at. Now I know. But now we have Snoopy and Woodstock. Of course, Charlie Brown is upstairs. So, yeah, she saw these when she came down when they would go do the tree. She saw the tree. She goes, oh. Then she goes like, oh. She goes, you found them. I'm like, but they were in the other tote. That I didn't remember that we labeled them. So yeah, Woodstock has his scarf and earmuffs on. And Snoopy has his scarf and reindeer ears. Oh, yeah, I know. I was like, oh. So yeah, so we have these down here. So I am trying to make sure I don't get no lipstick on them at all. And then we do for like 4 or 5 years. We go in the store Hallmark. Every year we up to like 5 years. We got stuff that was our favorite. And I have Snoopy, Linus. I'm supposed to have more than that. There's Linus and Snoopy. I think Charlie Brown. Oh, well, anyway. So, Linus and Snoopy. It should be Charlie Brown. Then I have Wonder Woman. It's supposed to be 2 different Wonder Womans up there. But it seems like for some reason stuff, I don't know, it shouldn't be missing, but I don't know, it is missing for some reason or another. But yeah. Then the 2 things else I have up there, if you can see it, I'll do a video of it. I still have Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and I have the policeman from Frosty the Snowman. I was like, I've had those 2, I don't know, call them stuffies or whatever. Oh my goodness, 20-some years, probably more than that. I just feel like something in my eye again. Ain't nothing there. So when, I would say 98. Yeah, probably 98. Christmas 98. When I got my apartment. No, 99. Take that back. It was probably 99. And I'm trying to make sure. No, that's like that hair that was in my mouth. I couldn't get out. So when I left my ex and got my place, my sister got this for me. That's probably when I got Rudolph and the policeman from Foxy's Snowman. She got me this. It's a tree skirt, but it's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer tree skirt. Oh, what? 20, probably 20 more than 20 years. Probably, no, 21 years. Now, it did have the music thing in it, and it played Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but it died. And then something spilled on it, so then I washed it, so it faded. So I didn't wash it no more. But yeah, because the Santa Claus I have over there, yeah, I got him. That's 20. It's been 20 years, so this is 21 years. Yeah, I know. It's so cute. So what I do, because we have a plaid one that we put underneath the tree, I put this around my chair and do my chair instead. I was like, but yeah, I've had this for a long time. I like it because it has, let's see here. We've got the toys. There's the lion, the king of the island. Then the polka dot elephant. The Jack in the Box, which is a Charlie in the Box. The dolly. Then it says Rudolph. Yep, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Then on this side is Rudolph. We got Rudolph. Unicorn Cornelius and Hermie. Oh yeah, and the little bird that swims. The little bird that swims instead of flies. So, yeah. Telling Anastasia it was time to start watching Christmas shows. She goes, all right. I'm like, we have a lot to watch. There's a lot at Christmas to watch. Then there's things she ain't never seen, too. You know, all that good stuff. I was like, yeah, I looked, I was like, oh, yeah, I know what I got to show Misha. Have I seen all of the reindeer? And I probably have and don't remember exactly what it's like. Um, I probably have. There were some really old. If y'all look it up, before that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, there are some that were out a long time before that. Exactly, I thought that was pretty cool. Because he didn't want to be an elf; he wanted to be a dentist. I thought that was awesome. And everything. But yeah, if you search up, it's cute. A little dog thinks Santa is calling for her help. He says all the other reindeer. Her name is Olive. Okay, I think I might remember seeing that. Yeah, a rebel. He's definitely a rebel. I probably would be one back in the day. Because I was like, you just don't want to do what you're told to. La 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 la. I'm like, yeah. What can I say? But yeah, I love Christmas. And then I'll take around because we were putting stuff up and everything, and I'm like, I just made a comment. I'm missing some stockings and I'm missing a lot of cards. I do know where some cards are. I think I know one tote there's where they're at. I think. And then my son goes, I ain't going to go back and look. I said, I didn't tell you to go or ask you to go back and look. I just made a statement that I was missing some stuff. That's all I said. He took it as I wanted him to go back and get it. And I'm like, no, it's cold and it's got snow outside. I don't want you to go back and look for it. I'm like, oh, I'm okay. I'm just making a statement that I noticed there's a couple things, well, two stockings missing, and then there's some other Christmas cards that I normally put up that, look, if you don't have a lot, here's a really good tip. If you don't have a lot to decorate or whatever, just go to the Dollar Tree, get some Christmas cards. You don't have to send them out, just put them up for decorations. Like I did. There's one there, and there's another one right there. There's some in the kitchen. I got them on the walls, and usually my wall is covered, with all Christmas cards. But I don't know where the ones are that I normally put up. I'm like, where do they go? So I don't know where they went. But And he was like, I'm going back to go get them. I'm like, I can't go back to the storage because it was cold enough getting these. I was like, I know. Yep, you can frame cards or gift bags. Yeah, exactly. See, I got a bunch of gift bags in there that I had. It's like blue, but they have Santa Claus on them and everything. And I was like, that'd be cool to, to sit there and just put like the stuffing like you use for the stuffed pillows or whatever and make it snow. Stick a ornament on top or whatever and just set it around for decorations. All kinds of good stuff you can do. And even though Dollar Tree is $1.25 or whatever it is now, it's still you can take some of those and mix up the with it. When the last time I went to Dollar Tree, they had the yard things that you could stick in, like with like the candy canes or whatever. I was gonna pick some up, and I was like, oh, but not dry orange peels, cut out stars, hanging as garland. Oh, that's a great idea. That is definitely a great idea. Yeah. And one thing that we used to do, because we still have the little mini crock pot warmer. But it's a little mini one and everything. I use to sit there and melt the chocolate to make homemade chocolates and everything. One year I just took cranberries, fresh cranberries, just crushed it a little bit, and then took orange peel and everything, put that in there with some water and some cloves. Oh, it smells so good. But you just gotta make sure that when you check on the water, because it will, it's gonna evaporate and everything. Yeah, that's so, yeah. Um, let's see. Now that the table is where it's at, I don't know if my son can get it up there, but my daughter-in-law had knitted the Santa and his boots, his hat, his jacket, and everything, and like it was on a clothesline. We had that up for years, and then I take it down. I know I still have it over there in one of those boxes, but yeah, if y'all can see now, my arm's gone down a lot. So it's almost back to regular skin tone color. Yeah. So no beef for a month. So no beef and no pork for a month. So let me correct when I said there, say no beef, no ground beef. Because I've had steak and it did not flare it up, but ground beef. And it doesn't matter what store brand, what name brand, it's something about the ground beef that my body just, and pork products. It's like, no, it rejects it. So, and back to my chicken and my turkey. Now, we had gumbo. See, there is. Let's say last week they made gumbo, so we had shrimp. So here's the funny thing. When I got the pacemaker in, I couldn't eat shrimp. It's just like even the smell of it. Oh my goodness, it made me sick. I couldn't do it. Here 6 months. So after about the 6th month or so, 7th month or so, we made gumbo. I was able to eat it. So I was telling him supper was good and everything. And I said, finally can eat shrimp again. He goes, you've always ate shrimp. I said, when they put the pacemaker in, I said, for some reason or other, I could not handle the shrimp or anything. And it took me a while. When you finally made it again, I was able to eat it. He goes, that's so weird. I said, it's part of the anesthesia that they gave me. He goes, the anesthesia. was like, yeah. And remember to check to see if you can go to the meetup. Oh, I will. I'll keep an eye on it. So, yeah, he was like, oh, so the Anastasia they gave you. I was like, yeah, that. So, but I don't know. I've heard people say that when they, whatever they use to put you to sleep when they do surgery, they come out. Some things they would be able to eat, they can't eat. And it takes a while before the body adjusts. So I was like, okay. So it was really good. I mean, we used noodles instead of rice, but it was the chicken, the sausage, and the shrimp. And I had that pork sausage, and boy, and then it's more like a kielbasa type sausage instead of like um, it's like the rope sausage that they get. But I was just like, nope, that flared it up. Now, like tonight, I was itching for some reason or another, but um, it would itch a little bit, and then it'll go down. And then, like I said, I've been wearing the other blue shirt with the long sleeves. So like I said, I'm left-handed. So I write with my left hand. Well, when you write, you bend your arm. Um, when I crochet, I'm holding the yarn in this hand and crocheting. So it's like, was it contact dermatitis? Is it a bunch of other things altogether? So it was probably a mixture of everything. Because the right arm, as y'all can see, it cleared up really fast because my right arm I could keep out straight because I use it with the mouse and everything. And then, it cleared up. This arm, I couldn't keep all the way down like this all the time or straight out all the time because, when I pick up my phone, I'm doing things with my left arm. So it's like, oh. So a couple people told me, kept telling me, Nancy, cover it up, bandage up, or whatever. And I was just wasn't thinking. And then one day last week, I was like, it just clicked what they said. I'm just like, because I woke up at night, when I wake up in the morning, my arms out like this as I sleep on my right side. And so when I wake up in the morning, it goes, oh, it's gone down. And then it started, doing its thing again. I'm like, oh, maybe, they have something that's try a paper towel, try a piece of gauze, but had the sticky stuff. And so that sticky stuff made it itch. So I was like, okay, so get a paper towel. So I took a paper towel and had medical tape. It was the paper tape. And I had put it on. So it was sticking and everything, but I took and wrapped it all around this way. And I stopped like that. And the next morning, all right, Heather, I'm going in here in a few minutes. I got up and there was bruises all there. That was from the tape. So I was like, oh my goodness. So, but yeah, we've had fun tonight. I really enjoy doing, the clothes things. My scarves, like I said, they're on sale, 30% off. They're in the post and everything. So if you're interested, send me an email and everything, and we've really had fun tonight and the laughs and on the stories. Some stories are just good to hear over again. So thank y'all so much for being here. God bless. Stay safe. We love y'all. And we'll see you next time on Our Treasure Home. Have a wonderful night. Y'all stay warm and hope Heather gets some snow.